What's going on, everybody? It's Austin Holloman back live again here in Asuncion, Paraguay. A beautiful place. And South America in general is a beautiful place for anybody that wants to come live here, men or women. Preferably men should come live in South America because South America is good for that. It's the ideal environment for that. Now, one thing South America is not the greatest for, and we're going to get into this whenever we get some more people in. One thing that South America is not the greatest for is people that don't speak Portuguese, French, or Spanish. Those are the languages spoken in South America. You have French Guyana, Haiti, which that's more so the Caribbean, but we're going to call it Latin America. Latin America. Most of these places in South America and Central America and the Caribbean speak Spanish. A few countries like Belize, Jamaica, I believe in Suriname, I think they speak Suriname, however the hell you say it. I believe they speak English. But hold on. What time is it? Let's wait until we got some more people on. Put a one in the chat if you are watching. It might be kind of early right now. It's 5 o'clock over here, but I know for y'all it's about 2 o'clock Central Time. And in California, it's about 11 a.m. 12. Yeah, Belize, they speak English. There's 3-4 languages they speak here throughout South America. You got a one in the chat. Now, I put up a post where I said, hold on, let me turn on this air. I put up a post where I said that guys are limited to basically sluts, prostitutes, and women that frequently sleep with American tourists or British tourists or Australian tourists. You get the idea. Dudes that go to these countries like Brazil, Colombia, any Spanish speaking country in South America or Latin America, any French speaking country like Madagascar. What's the other one? That's east of Madagascar. That's next to Mauritius. Mauritius speaks English, but east of that, there's another one. There's another island east of that one, near in Africa. But these countries, Mozambique, where they speak Portuguese, here in Paraguay, where they speak Spanish, a lot of these places don't speak English that we like to go to. When you guys go to these places and you guys don't speak the local language, Reunion Island is what it's called. Thank you very much. Whenever you guys go to these places, you don't speak the local language, and most people there don't speak English. The only people that really know English are either people that have some sort of job that constantly has them dealing with foreigners, or maybe just somebody that decided to learn English. They have an international job online or something, or freelance or something like that. Or people that hang out in the tourist zone, which is where most of you guys stay, and they fuck with a bunch of tourists. For example, I told you guys whenever you go to Brazil, you need to learn Portuguese. I know Portuguese fluently. I can sit here and do the rest of this damn live in Portuguese if I wanted to. Since I've been back in Latin America, I've been able to speak to all these people in Spanish and Portuguese, and they can understand majority of words. I'm using that as a crutch while I learn Spanish, because I'm learning Spanish. When I use Duolingo, my Portuguese is so similar to Spanish. I can skip entire units on Duolingo, which usually take like 3-4 hours to finish a unit, but I can do it in 5 minutes because the words are so similar. So I can get by for now until I finish learning. Of course, not every word is gonna be the same. I didn't know Floyd was live. I didn't know that. But you guys, I told you guys when you guys go to Brazil that if you're going to stay in Rio, you can somewhat get by off just English, but you have to learn some level of Portuguese to live a pretty decent life. I don't believe that you can go to any South American, because for example, I'm here in Paraguay, right? And when I go to buy clothes, sometimes I don't know what they're saying. Even though the words are similar, sometimes I don't know. Now, some of you guys don't even know Portuguese. So imagine if you don't know Spanish or Portuguese and you want to order your food. Oh, just pull out the translator. So you mean to tell me you're going to move to another fucking country and pull out the translator every time you want to talk to somebody? And you call that an easy lifestyle? Oh, I need to talk to... What about the doorman, right? I just had a chick come up here. Whenever they get downstairs, the doorman has to call me to make sure that they can come up and that I know that they're coming up. He's not speaking English. He's speaking Spanish. Okay? I can understand what he's saying. Are you going to pull out your translator and say, hold on, say that again into the translator? You could easily say, oh, I'll just go downstairs and get him. It's a lot easier and a lot of an easier life. It is more convenient if you know the language. That way you don't have to get out, go downstairs, and come back up. That's what I'm saying. Yes, there are things like you can go downstairs or you can pull out your translator every fucking 2 minutes. But it makes life, if you're planning to live somewhere else, it makes life a lot easier. It makes life a lot easier if you know the language. This is not disputable. So I've seen some people in my community posts, and this is really sad that people think like this. Their justification for not wanting to be bilingual, being bilingual is cool as well, by the way. It's very cool. Everybody else in the world is pretty much bilingual except for America. Like if you go to most countries I've been to, those people know 2 to 3 languages. In Africa, like Rwanda, they knew 4. Everybody knew 4 to 5 languages. In Rwanda, they knew English, French. They knew Kimbandese or whatever it is. And then they would know Swahili. And then they would know their tribal language, the individual area, whatever it was. Just like in Kenya, they'll know English, Swahili, and then they'll know their tribal language from whatever tribe they're from in Kenya. It's only in America that the majority, like by the majority, I mean like 90% of the population that was born in America only knows English. If you go to the United States, and you do not know English, you are fucked. People are saying, oh, well, there's entire communities in Florida that they don't speak English. Okay. How successful are they? I bet you they don't leave those communities either. I bet you they have an illegal job or they do illegal activity for money, meaning that they're probably selling dope or something, or they're a construction worker that's not supposed to be working under construction because they don't have citizenship. You cannot have citizenship in the United States without knowing English. The same way that if you want to become a citizen of Brazil, you need to be able to fluently speak Portuguese. That's worldwide. Nobody's going to give you citizenship and you cannot speak one of the official languages. So try to justify you not learning the language of this new land that you want to move to because if there's illegal aliens, you're using illegal. So basically you want to be an illegal alien. You want to use illegal aliens to justify you being too damn lazy to learn another language. And this is the reason why I say, and I'm going to get to your super chat right here, social owner. This is the reason why I say that you are limited to a certain type, basically a pass around chick that's for everybody when you don't know the language. The social owner says knowing the language helps the local women take you more seriously. Dudes are just lazy and don't want to put in the work. Whenever you, and this is exactly correct, thank you for the super chat. Whenever you don't know the local language, number one, when you interact with a chick, it comes off as a tourist. Like you're just a tourist. They're gonna immediately, oh, he's just passing by. So you have some chicks that don't mind that. Majority of them are gonna be chicks that just fuck with tourists. They'll talk shit about Brazilian men, but they'll fuck with you. That's the type of chicks you'll run into majority of the time. Or they have some sort of financial gain or something that they want to get out of you. They don't really want to know you. They're and it's not even a long-term scam. They're gonna short-term scam you. It'll be a month. Okay? Now, if you meet a chick that does not know English and you know Spanish, yes, and you're in a Spanish-speaking country, yes, she may still be like, oh, so, because, for example, when I'm here in Paraguay and I meet women, of course, I'm not from here because there are not a lot of black people down here. I approach them in Spanish. They still ask me, how long are you here? I say, I don't have any plans on leaving because I don't. I'm looking to stay here. I don't have any plans on leaving. And they're like, no, but how long are you here? If the fact that I can go back and forth with her gives me an advantage anyway. In English, you do not have an advantage. Now, I know I may have told you guys, hey, speak English, but that was just like for leverage to get some pussy. That's just like a little flex to try to build interest. But if you show that you had the effort to learn the language, it's way more believable when you say, oh, I'm not leaving here. Because it's very common for American tourists to run the game of, oh, I'm moving here or I'm thinking about living here. And then after they smash them, maybe a month later, the dude leaves and never comes back. They've caught on to that pretty much worldwide. So if you know the language or you know enough of the language and you say that you're still learning it, like me, because that's what I'm doing, that's what's true, you have a way better shot, and I'm telling you guys from experience, at getting better quality women rather than hoes that just fuck with tourists and prostitutes. You can, and somebody just said this, your personality and charisma will take you further. It's like people who speak English and have no game. So here's the thing. If you are in a Spanish-speaking country and you do not speak Spanish, tell me how much personality and charisma can you have when you can't even communicate? You can't even, when she responds to you, your charisma doesn't matter because you can't even respond quick enough. Like if she says, oh, where do you want to go for the date, Austin? Or where do you want to go out to eat next? And I say, oh, I immediately say in Spanish, like, oh, it doesn't matter as long as I'm here with you. It hits different when I say it on the spot versus, hold on, let me pull out my translator and type it in because I'm too fucking lazy to learn. And then she reads it 45 seconds later. You might as well separate from her and just text her. I've heard about dudes approaching women with a translator. You will run off like 50% or more of the women that in these countries if you are approaching them like this. It's very touristy. You and number one, you make yourself a target doing that too because you never know. In South America, a lot of the countries are dangerous. You never know who's watching. And immediately, white or black, when they see you walking up to women with the phone out, they know you're a tourist. So somebody anonymous said, men go. So this is the reason why dudes frequent places like the Philippines and Thailand. If we could say pay for play, right? But besides that, it's because you don't have to do much to go there, right? If you want to move to Brazil, you cannot survive in Brazil for that long outside of Copacabana, outside of really just Rio, maybe Sao Paulo, you can get around because it's more international and there's more foreigners there. But you cannot be like Fred and I and go live in Salvador and do just fine because you can effectively communicate. I told you guys before, the women in Salvador, a lot of them had not met gringos before. So when I would go on a date with them, I could at least be the gringo that they could fucking talk to. You know? So if you guys, and again, somebody just said the point is show them is more than women. Whenever you guys go to these countries in South America or anywhere, let's stick to South America. If you guys go to these countries in South America that are known sex to, like people know how beautiful Latinas are. So worldwide, people flock to South America just for the women. You stand out as another one of those people that flock to the continent just for the women because you don't speak the language. So it automatically comes off as a short time deal. When I meet illegal immigrants in the United States and they walk up to me speaking French, I'm like, oh shit, must just be a tourist here from France or something, or from somewhere else. They can't be living here. How is that? How are they living in New Jersey off just French? What do they do when they go to the DPS? Like, in order for me to get my CPF when I was in Brazil, I had to go to the Receita Federal, which is like the DPS or the tax office. They were not speaking to me in English when I got there. When the police pulled us over and they put a gun in me and my friend's face, they were not speaking to us in English. It was, you need to know the language to get by day situations in these places. I'm only gonna do this live one time because it's really a very obvious live. When you guys go to Medellin, Cartagena, Sosua, like I just seen somebody put Ozzy put in the chat right here, and you don't know Spanish, you are limited to the ones that are drugging y'all and robbing y'all, kidnapping y'all. You're limited to that. Because when I was in Medellin, the chicks that did not speak English were the better chicks. Not saying that every single chick that speaks English in Colombia is bad, no. But more frequently, the ones that you'd be really interested in didn't know a lick of English. And like I said before, if they know English, you should be wary of that. That means that you're probably not the first gringo they've had. Something's been changed about them. And I don't know about you guys, when I go to certain countries and I meet a Brazilian or I meet a Uruguayan or I meet an Argentinian, I want them to be very Argentinian, very Uruguayan, very Colombian. I don't want Colombian American. I could have dated one in America for that. Gringo hunters are some of the worst. You don't have to be fluent, and when you try to speak her language, she will be less shy to try yours. Learn it. Yes. And they have plenty of gringo hunters in Brazil. I've had one of them on my videos. When I was on a date with her, she spoke English perfectly. She was from Rio, but she was in Salvador when I met her. She's beautiful too. She spoke English perfectly. Whenever I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this bill is gonna be quite expensive this time. You know what her response was? Oh, but it's okay. It's cheap for you because you have dollars. That's what the hell she's thinking about. That's what she's thinking about. The chick that's fluent in English. But the chick that didn't know English at all was cautious to not try to run up the bill and try to help me save money when I was in Brazil. That's the difference. Now you guys might be getting some quality women. You might be able to make it work. You might get some quality women not knowing Portuguese or Spanish or French. There's a time limit on how long she's gonna fucking talk to you and translate. I had a supporter. He's a supporter. I believe he's a member. He's been around for a while. He says he's gonna get the women to speak English. He's been traveling for 8 years. He's got the women to speak English. Still a problem. Your wife speaks English, but you don't speak Portuguese or Spanish, okay? Let's imagine this. Your wife speaks English, but you don't speak Portuguese or Spanish. She can say anything about you right in front of your face and you won't have a clue. You won't have a clue. It happened to me in Thailand. It happened to me in African countries like Kenya and Tanzania. I make a woman upset in Kenya and Tanzania. She starts speaking in Swahili. They speak English there, but she starts speaking in Swahili when she gets upset. I have no clue what she said because Swahili sounds nothing like English. You don't see the problem with that? Hey, all right, so I'm gonna turn on this movie for Austin, and then I want you to go get the machete, and I want you to pull out on them, and we gonna rob them. You don't know what the hell they just said, cause you too lazy to learn a language. So you finna be fucking decapitated or whatever they about to do to you, all because you didn't want to download Duolingo and practice 20 minutes a day. I remember I was with Kate, and I had got on her nerves one day when we were in Chiang Mai, and she called me a butt ball, and it was obviously wasn't English, but it sounded like butt ball. So I was on the phone with Rilla, he heard it. He spoke it into the translator, and it was like it was like I think it was the Thai version of calling somebody a hoe. Now, that's what you guys want to deal with. Because she said that, and her friend that Floyd was in the video with started laughing. I have no clue what she said until we used the translator. Now, another super chat, he said she was right. Yeah, my game went to the next level when I could communicate instantaneously in Chinese with girls. Definitely sets you apart worldwide. Yeah, for example, I went to Romania. Even the Legion of Men, he's Romanian. He lives there. He's from there. He even told me if you learn a little bit of the language, at least a little bit. If you learn it fluently, great. But if you learn a little bit, people will talk shit about you less, at least in front of your face, which is better. Women will be more open because then if you're a black guy in Romania and you walk up to a chick speaking fluent Romanian, she's not gonna think you're a tourist because number one, black people aren't there, and why the hell would a black guy know fluent Romanian? You see the leverage that gives you. When the Uber driver gets in the car, no problem communicating with him. I've been taken the wrong way. I've been dropped off on the wrong side of the street. I've misunderstood many things because I was in a country where I didn't speak the language at all. I've been scammed in French-speaking countries because I did not know the language. In Spanish-speaking countries as well. Before I was fluent in Portuguese, before I knew a lot of Portuguese, when I went to Colombia last year, happened there. You guys are not going to be able to. What you guys want to do is get around putting in the work. You guys heard me complain about choosing signals. Okay, we could say I was complaining about not wanting to go the extra mile and just converse. I started, and it's been going pretty well. Still low turnover rate. Have I smashed something off choosing signals now? Yes. Not choosing signals. Cold approach, yes. But it's still it's still way more work than it is success, as expected, because you're approaching random people. But I'm just saying that's work that I have to put in to meet new women. Imagine cold approaching and not even speaking the same language. You have to put in the work. If you want to live abroad, if you want to be in a country longer than a week, longer than 2 weeks, I highly advise you learn a language. I highly advise you learn the language. I told you guys I can speak Portuguese. I can speak some Spanish right now. I'll be in Spanish-speaking countries probably for 6 more months, 7 more months, the rest of the year. Who knows? I'm gonna be in Latin America for a while. I might even go to a different continent, but come right back. You guys will not be able to get around it. Do not listen to any expats. If you go to Thailand, yes, you can get a pass because I've been to 4 cities in Thailand, 2, 3 islands in Thailand. Everybody there speaks English. It is very uncommon to run into a person in the big cities that does not speak English. Very uncommon. Should you learn Thai? Yes, because Thai people do talk shit about foreigners in Thai right in front of your goddamn face. I just told you what happened with Kate. Why else would you be in a country where everybody's sitting at the dinner? This has happened to me many times. Why else would you be in a country where everybody's sitting at it's a dinner table of 6 of y'all, 3 Thais, 3 Americans. Everybody speaks English fluently. We have an American here, Thai here, American here, Thai here. Everybody's spread out. It's not Thais on one side, Americans on one. Everybody's blended in. Why is it that the Thai people are talking to each other in Thai instead of English? They have something to hide. They're saying something that they don't have enough balls to say to your face. That's why you should learn the language. If I chose to live in Thailand, I would start learning Thai. Do I want to learn Thai? No. But it would be best. And why not? Why not learn another language? You know, your brain gets smarter when you exercise it. You should be forever learning. What languages should you learn? We all know English. English works a lot of places worldwide. Spanish works a lot of places worldwide. Portuguese works in like maybe 7 countries. What is it? Brazil, Mozambique, Sao Tome, Cabo Verde, Angola, and Portugal, and East Timor in Asia. 7. But if you do go to some places in Latin America, they will be a lot of people know Portuguese. I met people in Argentina. I met people in Uruguay, Paraguay that knew Portuguese. A lot of people here know Portuguese. Portuguese is one that I would advise you learn as well. French is also a world colonizer. Their language works in a lot of places as well. The reason I didn't learn Swahili was because, number one, so many people spoke English in Kenya. It was kind of like, it was the same situation with Thailand. I could have learned it, but didn't really need to. But Swahili only works right there in Kenya, Uganda. What is it? Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. I think once you leave that area, East Africa, who knows Swahili? Don't try speaking Swahili in Brazil. That's not going. I can fucking guarantee you that's not gonna work. So you need to know the basic colonial languages. Know the basic colonial languages. I don't care about the history of why that is. That's the way how the world is. Deal with it. Ain't shit you can do about it. They already colonized the world. You listening to me in a colonial language. Cabo Verde is Portuguese. They were colonized by the Portuguese. I've even listened to their music. They still speak Portuguese. Thank you for the super chat. Now, if you want to deal with hookers, go ahead. Don't learn the language. Even the hookers in Colombia don't know English. Like even the hookers in these countries don't always know English. Now, here's another reason why you should learn the language. Most of us are men, but I do know this, most of us are grown adults, meaning we should be independent. How can you be an independent adult and you cannot even rely on yourself? You cannot even rely on yourself. People like say, "Oh, I use a translator." So when your phone goes dead, then what? Then what are you gonna do? Because I've been in a situation where your phone goes dead, you can't order an Uber, so you have to be able to talk to people, read the bus signs, know how the hell to get back to your side of town by reading Spanish. That's why you should learn. Because you can, whenever technology fails, whenever nobody's around you, you can rely on yourself. I can rely on Austin. I've always been that way. I cut my own hair. I edit my own videos. I can do everything. I don't make my thumbnails anymore, but I can if I needed to. And I communicate effectively by myself. Yeah. Oh, especially if you don't have an offline translator. You know, they have some translators that are offline, but most of you guys are using Google Translate. That has to be connected to the internet to use Google. There's plenty of times you could be in an elevator. It's not uncommon to be on WhatsApp and go to the grocery store, and the minute you walk past the entrance, your signal cuts out. You need to communicate with the person that's packing the meat so you can buy steaks to cook later. You need to be able to communicate with them. Sure, you can point at the food and tell them. But what if you say, "Oh, I want this many pounds, this many kilograms"? What you gonna point? You gonna draw 7 out on a fucking whiteboard? Or you gonna learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Portuguese? So yeah, I just had to bring that up because there's a lot of guys. What was really getting on my nerves was the people trying to justify, like, "Oh, there's Mexicans living in the United States in Texas. They don't speak Spanish. I also don't give a fuck." I'm gonna tell you why they don't matter. That Mexican or that Cuban or that Colombian that only speaks Spanish and lives in the United States cannot go get a real job. I'm not talking about a construction job. I'm not talking about a fucking cashier in a mainly Spanish or a mainly Mexican city somewhere in the United States. I'm not talking about that. What about the fact that they may want to be an architect one day? Hey, would you gonna go to college not knowing English? They can't even do so. What? Why are we using them to justify that shit? They can't go outside. Exactly. They cannot go outside of their community. So they're comparing themselves to illegal aliens. That's how you know somebody has no strong talking points. At that point, he might as well have said, "Well, the people on Mars don't know English." He might as well have said the same shit. Because if somebody came from Mars, I wouldn't be able to communicate with them. How far would a Martian be able to get on Earth if he doesn't speak any languages from Earth? But if that Martian learns how to speak Swahili, at least he can go to Kenya and get a job. I mean, it's not rocket science, you guys. Yeah, especially in the Asian countries, the girl might feel uncomfortable bringing you around her friends if you don't speak the language. It's a bad look. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat. The chances of her wanting to bring you around her parents are slim to none because they're going to be looking at it like, oh shit, like, okay, she went and got basically like a sex tourist. Like, that's what they're going to look at you like as a sex tourist. Now, I don't know if that's so much for the Asian countries, but in South America, yeah. Asia, Africa, a lot of Europe, for the most part, you can get away with English for the most part. Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, Zambia, Ghana, English is just fine. You do not need to learn the local languages there. Senegal, if you know English, you will have a hard time. I'm telling you from somebody that's a native English speaker. Portuguese is my secondary language, and neither one of those really helped. Portuguese helped like very slightly. Like I was able to catch some things because they're still Latin languages. But for the most part, no. This should be common sense. If you want to date or have any type of relationship with a foreign woman, you should at least attempt to learn the language. Yes. Yes. Learning the language is essential. Guys, if you guys don't know how to learn the language, download Duolingo. Get some classes. I think they have WeTalk or Talkly, whatever it is. You can pay these other countries hire. It's I believe it's American companies that hire people from these countries because of the conversion rate. You can hire like a Brazilian and pay them $5 for 1 hour to teach you Portuguese because $5 is $25 in Brazil. And most Americans, if they said, hey, teach this Mexican how to speak English for $25 an hour, most of us would do that. That's a good pay. That means if I sit here for 3 hours with him, that's $75. If I do an 8 hour workday, that's over $200. Most people would do that. So they came up with that idea. So it's no excuse. You can get. It's best to learn that way if you have somebody teach you, because you can talk to them, and that's what does that. Learning Spanish has helped me communicate with a lot of good people and very professional women. It made my trips to Paraguay super easy. Yes. So English here is not as common. Portuguese is more common. But if I knew Spanish fluently, no problem. I do speak to women here, yes. But there is often a bit of a halt. Like, okay, I say this, that, we got it. Oh, stop. I didn't understand that. What does that mean? Okay, talk. Oh, stop. That can be frustrating for the other party at some point. Just like it'd be frustrating for me. Think about this. If you had an American woman living in Texas and a Colombian guy comes to Texas and he meets this woman from America that only speaks English and he only speaks Spanish, what is she trying to get out of him? What type of woman is going to deal with that guy? You know, American women, they probably going to be looking for some money. Now, do you have to be the guy that knows 3, 4, 5 languages? No. Would that be great? Absolutely. I've been to countries that speak, I've been to Tagalog in the Philippines, Vietnamese, Khmer in Cambodia, Thai, Swahili, Portuguese, Spanish, and then every other African country had their own language. So I've been around almost 20 different languages. I only know 2.5. You don't need to know all those. but learn something. They said, thank you for the super chat. They said that Austin never speaks Portuguese. I never speak Portuguese because you guys don't speak Portuguese. And I would lose a lot of viewers if I just started talking in Portuguese right here. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well, for the most part, and that wraps up my Q&A. Again, if you guys would love to know, I've been to 18 countries this year. If you guys have been following, if you guys would love to know where you should go for your first trip, where you should stay for your first trip, what to avoid, what cultural differences, who to avoid, what should you try when you go to somewhere like Kenya, what are the best clubs that Kenyan women will be most open to dealing with foreigners, what gym should you work out at in Nairobi. I'm your guy for that. I'm the one you need to book a consultation with. I don't have to have you do an hour. Everybody cannot pay $150. So I made it available to even more people by making 30 minutes, which a lot of you guys can get questions out of the way in 30 minutes, for $75. Other content creators are charging double, triple what I charge. So before I get to that point, you should with me now. I'm an expert in Kenya. Okay, because that's one of the places I stayed the longest. Tanzania behind that one. Brazil. Thailand. I haven't lived in Thailand, but I've been there 4 times in the past year. I've been in these places enough time and I've been through enough scenarios and I've fucked up a lot, as you guys may know, in a lot of these countries. The point is for me to help you get in the right direction when you land or before you land. He said the Prince of Nairobi. I've heard somebody call me that before. Thank you. He said this is a smart pivot. You now have the expertise to do consultations. Congratulations. You know, a lot of people like to say that. You know, before they was like, oh, he only been in Brazil. He only been there this many months. I've been an expat now 15 months almost. Next month it'll make 15 months in a couple weeks. I've been to 18 countries this year, 19 in total. Okay, we could talk about taxes. You guys want to become an expat? We could talk about taxes. We could talk about if you guys want to move to Africa, how to avoid paying the high. Remember the video on how expensive it is to get a package delivered to Africa? I can tell you guys how to avoid that. I can connect you with the right people to avoid that. I can teach you guys how to get your CPF. I can tell you guys where to stay in Salvador, where to stay in Rio, where to not stay in Recife. I wasn't in Recife long enough, but I know where I should have been at in his. Now, even in Argentina, there's a way for you to double your money when you get there. I can connect you with somebody that can help you do that. But you had to book a consultation. Yes, all of Latin America is a fitness country. It's a fitness continent. Central America, South America, the Caribbeans, all those places, people are very, very fit. Like if you look at pictures of women from the DR, I've never been, but they're all very fit. Women in Uruguay, very fit. Women in Argentina, very fit. I know that's not what you guys seen on video a lot of times when I was there, but I'm telling you, my eyes from going to the gym, very fit. The gyms in Latin America are always packed. Something it should be like in the United States, but for some reason, cheeseburgers and fries are more important. I'm in Paraguay right now. I'm not sure what yerba mate brand you should get because they've all hit pretty good, but I always buy the ones that have cannabis infused in them. I haven't drank that stuff in like a week. The chick I was just hanging out with was telling me that if I drink it on an empty stomach, it's too hard on my stomach. I literally just had 4 or 5 days of diarrhea straight. Like I was fucked up. Like it just ended today. I was fucked up. And it was either from the cigars. I feel way better now that I'm not smoking the cigars, but I was fucked up. And I never want to go through that again. Now, a lot of you guys are already on members. A lot of you guys are part of members only. I told you guys I've started a Patreon. Number one, YouTube takes a lot out of members only. So I'm moving all my stuff over to Patreon. I've already posted 8 videos. I believe it's 8 videos on Patreon. For after this live goes off, I'll do another 3 for today for each category. If you guys are looking for guides on start to finish on travel, start to finish, well, there is no start to finish on dating, but if you guys are looking for all my dating advice, everything that pops up in my head, I'll be like, let me record this and add this to the Patreon. Or if you want to start a YouTube channel and you want to learn how I became a successful vlogger on YouTube, started from scratch, started from nothing, to now being outside of the United States for almost 15 months with no sight of coming back. It doesn't look like I'm going back no time soon. If you guys want to make that transition, because I know a lot of you guys want to be digital nomads and you guys want to move, but the money is usually the hardest part. It's money, then it's kids. The money is the hardest part for most of us, to have a remote income. The way how I did it was through YouTube. If you guys want to learn that, you can sign up. I'm dropping videos on there start to finish, from how to do the thumbnail, how to do the titles, how to edit the videos, what software I use, what equipment I use. It's on the Patreon. How much of an advantage will you have being fit in Brazil? I bench 245, 14% body fat, getting to 12%. I would just recommend that you can see your ab muscles, like my body. Like I don't have a full 6-pack, but you can see my ab muscles. As long as you're in shape and you look like you hit the gym, you don't have a lot of body fat. 12% is great. But you guys seen I was kind of fat when I was in Brazil, and I was doing just fine because I still had the figure like I was in the gym. I was keeping up. So if you are in shape in Brazil, that's the best advice I can give you. Being out of shape in Brazil around a bunch of women and other men that are in shape, you're not gonna stand out in the right way. You're gonna stand out in the wrong way. I do have a video on members only already about how to cut your own hair. Chile is the next country I'll be going to. So I'm gonna add the Patreon link down here. Who 245? So yeah, I add the Patreon link down there. If you guys are interested in any of those courses I talked about, click the link below to sign up. Now I did get it after I ran my advertisement on Instagram, not YouTube. Instagram. I got a few people that booked for a consultation. So if you did book, I truly appreciate that. But you guys, we need more people to book. I'm supposed to be going to Medellin in February for some work, not to go hang out or nothing like that, just for work. And I'll have more intel on what the situation really looks like down there because it's supposed to be very, very bad right now. I keep hearing about tourists dying and stuff like that. But again, when you read the stories of what happens to these tourists, a lot of it is avoidable. And it's because of ignorance. Ignorance does not mean that you are dumb. Ignorance means just that you do not know. And since you do not know, you do not know what can happen to you. And you do not know how to avoid that situation. That's why you speak to somebody experienced like me. Let me Passport Bro Stacks is Passport Bro Anthem by Passport Bro Stacks on YouTube. Thank you very much for the super chat. I think I've heard that song already. Austin, the thing is, as a tourist, you won't see danger until it's in your face. That's the problem I have with staying for 10 days. You won't see danger until it's in your face. What do you mean? I think that's for everybody, right? Yeah, I think Lil J was probably the best one too. Who knows though? Yes. Sir, you know what we mean though. There are people that there's plenty of American tourists. Yes, I do know what you're talking about, the United States, but there are plenty of American tourists that have died recently from being in these countries and being ignorant. Like the guy in Santiago, Chile. He was taking pictures in the wrong area, came up missing. Well, he didn't come up missing. He ended up getting shot. Had he had a consultation and knew what side of town to not be on, he could have avoided that. Not saying it was his fault. I'm just telling you guys the truth. That's why it's important for you guys to be educated before you go to these places. It takes the guinea pig like me because I just go to these places with no education. I'm the damn test dummy. I'm not sick. The chick that was over here had a cat, and I'm allergic to cats, so it kind of messed me up. I took allergy medicine, but yeah. Last night's live date, it was all right. It was kind of odd how the chicks was all like, "Oh, friend zone, friend." I was like, I don't give a fuck. But I was telling you guys, that's what was annoying me was the stuff that they were saying and the assumptions they were making. I'm like, damn, that's why I don't like dating apps because chicks look at the dating app and they just make a quick assumption and shit's usually wrong. Damn, I didn't know that. Yeah, the flow. I actually forgot to buy Flonase. Hey, I bought some more allergy medicine today, though. I'll probably take some here in a little bit because I'm about to go out later on tonight. But yeah, you guys, that's it. So much for today. Is we're approaching the hour mark. Let me know what you guys want to see next. You guys know I can do vlogs out of Paraguay. I don't really want to. I can. We might have to wait till we go to Chile to do that. But right now, I'm still focusing on catching up on Patreon, catching up on the book, and catching up on the t-shirts, which we're almost done with that. And then we'll get back to the vlogs. But for right now, it does feel good to not vlog everything every single day. Feels very good to do that. Wait, what's going on in the chat right here? Yeah, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna have a talk with Floyd. Yeah, I did talk with Floyd. Yeah, it's not really stuff I can say to him anymore. I've told him. But yeah, he said you'll know if I need to increase your vlogs after the next YouTube check. Yes, of course, my next YouTube check is going to be smaller because I'm not uploading daily. I'm still trying to put out shorts and maybe some talking points. But let me know what kind of live streams you guys want to see. Like, I need some. I need my audience to help me with ideas on what live streams I could do while I'm in one spot for a while and I'm not vlogging or talking about what's going on in that spot. They say you need to go controversial mode again. Yes. I noticed since I stopped smoking cigars, I've been able to get back into that mode a little bit where I can make more controversial. I love doing controversial videos. I love, honestly, I'm more interested in making my own sponsorships. You know, I have sponsorships, but I'm more interested in doing my own. Like, I would like to build my own business and promote my own stuff. Like, what's the black guy? Black some Lieutenant Tom, the guy he does, he's like the male version of Candace Owens almost. And he has his own shirts. He promotes pretty much his own stuff. I want to do that because I don't want to have to really be on anybody besides YouTube, anybody else's guidelines of what not talk about. You know what I could do? I could go controversial by going back and going back to the red pill space and debate, not on my channel, but going back to other people's channels that's in the red pill space that's still talking about passport bros, this and that, which a lot of that stuff has died down, but you know what I mean. Thank you for the super chat. Let's look at this stuff with Floyd y'all talking about. The Patreon link is pinned at the top of the screen, the top of the chat. I think I'm about to go eat me a steak.
Put in the fridge.
Medium rare or
Shit
rare.
is overheating because of the battery. Hold on, amiga.
Now she's actually cute.
Okay, let's go. So we're about to head out, and why? I guess I'll be using my iPhone for now to do static recording until my DJI Pocket stopped overheating. Here you go. The blue one. Yeah, see. Oh. Turn off the music.
He said Austin got his third leg out watching you. Yeah, Floyd's other channel is ran very professionally. He runs his auditing channel very well. DJ P said this is embarrassing. You know what? That's what I could do. Why didn't I think of that? Since I'm in one spot, I can go around and critique other passport bros. I should do that. I should do a reaction daily.
You want to fucking cancel? You gotta.
Please. And that's the end of the show. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do reaction videos. So if you guys can send me a video about travel content to react to daily, I'm gonna do that. What's going on, Red? Yeah, Floyd doesn't need to live stream his dates, man. He said that he got kicked out from the cab. The Uber really kicked him out? Let me see.
New direction of this channel. I'm doing things a lot differently now. This will be, and let me tell you, we are doing things a lot differently on this channel.
Oh, he was telling him to turn down the music.
You want to fucking cancel? You gotta day, and I want you guys to see exactly what's there. So we are in Brazil, and we are going to tour the city. And she does not speak English. She doesn't speak English. Uh, she doesn't speak English, so um, we're gonna go from there. Let's see. Let me check what we got going on right now. She says she. Me too. Yeah. Well. Let's get her.
Vamos pra onde?
Hold on.
Onde que é ir?
All right, hold on.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful, Stella.
Yeah, beautiful.
Bonito aqui.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I gotta get rid of stuff.
Não, não.
Yeah, put it over there. So let me use still learning Portuguese. Hold on. Do you have the translator app? See, okay. Hold on.
Tem água.
Sweet Sushi Floyd took down the live midway. He he told him to turn that music down. The driver told him to get out. I gotta call Floyd. Well, yeah, he deleted the live. You guys, that's it for today. I'm about to wrap it up. Whenever we're still on the break, tune into the Patreon if you have not already. It's in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat again right here. $100. Yeah, that was it. Floyd is entertaining. He's very entertaining, but Floyd needs to be careful too. So yeah, the thing is in the chat right there. You guys sign up if you guys want to learn how to become a YouTuber. If you want to learn more detailed information about dating overseas, and you want to learn step by step how to start traveling. Love you guys. I appreciate y'all. I will see you guys in the next video. And I'm out. Oh, Gavin Terry said, hit up AMS to see what he has going on. Show idea. Yes, I reached out to AMS, but he didn't respond. That was last year, though. I'll try again. Thank you for the super chat.